Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us again here on the Pandemic Diary 2020. My name is Emily Blake, your lead host today, and I'll be joined by Joan Achong, my co-host. Now, the Pandemic Diary is all about looking at the lives of everyday people who may be affected by COVID-19. It's a virus that we can all relate to. It's affected us globally. So it's something that we now all share in common, and we can talk about our experiences, the negatives and the positives. Hi, Joan, are you there?
I am here. Hello, Emily.
How are you today,
Hi,
Joan?
everyone.
You doing good?
And yeah. How did you spend your weekend?
So with it being Easter, I'm used to my traditions. I'm a traditional girl,
Uh-huh.
and I had to attempt at making a roast dinner, which
Mhm.
normally my mum would actually make. So I had a lot to live up to, but I can tell you my roast potatoes were perfect. So very happy.
Well, speaking as a woman living on my own, single, I was totally in isolation. I had
Mm,
to cook by myself, eat by myself. No one came to visit. I did everything over the telephone. And this is one of the effects COVID-19 is having on our everyday lives.
yes.
Hmm.
But we can still, I'm still so grateful for everything that we've got now, and when this is over, we can see our families again, which will be
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yes, that'd be so
to,
amazing.
yeah, today's guest, we're really lucky to be joined by such an accomplished man. His name is Philip Chan, and he has been a successful teacher for over 40 years. 40 years, teaching at all levels of expertise, from children to adults, and really helping people get a better understanding of maths in particular. Now,
Yeah.
Philip, I struggle with my maths, so maybe you
Oh,
can help me
God.
out today. Welcome, Philip.
Well,
Well,
good morning, Emily, and good morning, Joan, and thank you for having me
good
on your
morning.
show.
You're
Well,
so
Well,
welcome.
yes, good morning, just in case you didn't hear me, and welcome to all the listeners as well, and I hope you all have a safe time. It's a very interesting period we're going through, and how do we occupy? I'm known as a 10-second maths expert. However, my claim of fame is at school, I was bottom in every subject,
No
really?
way.
Oh,
including mathematics. So
Wow.
okay.
sometimes when I go to these workshops, people say, "Oh, it's all right for you. You know, you're just naturally good." I said, "No, no, no, no. That was not the reality at
I thought
school.
it was actually.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
After a black mathematician, you
No.
were
The
expert and
in the
you were
school that I
elite.
was at, we had 10 sets. I was in set 10, bottom set, and I was in the bottom three of the
Uh-huh.
bottom set.
Oh
Wow.
Now,
my goodness.
What changed? What changed for
well,
you?
yeah, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I had a really long conversation with myself. I can remember this just before the summer holiday. Um, it's equivalent to the year nine today, basically. The people in the school today, that's the equivalent to the year nine today. And I said, well, I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm bottom. If I carry on like this, well, by the time I get to GCSE exam time in year 11, or the equivalent of year 11, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to get anywhere. I'm going to be, I might not even get a job. So I made
Mm-hmm.
a conscious decision to give up every one of my school holidays and actually go and do the extra work and research. And then I did the research and I discovered there were so many wonderful techniques. Now, remember, I was bottom in every subject,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a love for history. I have a love for history and I love reading history books. And I found also the history of maths. And I found so many wonderful techniques been around for several hundred to 1,000 years old. But that's not my age, by the way. And then I start doing them, and I practice one, two bits, and then I show it to one of my friends, and they go, say, "Wow, how did you do that?" So over a long period of time, I gained this. Then I can actually start doing basic calculations very quickly. So I got this reputation of become good at maths, and I thought that's
Wow.
incredible.
That's
It's almost like someone who can never sing, getting a number one chart.
Mm. That's incredible. And I think actually with that, that story, probably your teachings are going to have even more of an impact, because for people to see someone who's just always been good at something telling someone how to do it, as you said, it's like, yeah, that's easy for them, but actually learning that you struggled and I can't believe you are in bottom sets. That's
Me
Yeah.
neither. Emily, me neither. I would have never thought it. I was
No.
terrible at maths, and believe you me, I would have done very well to have come across someone like you in my secondary school days, because once I saw something like, okay, I'm not even trying to think, all the calculations, oh, forget it, the formulas, and that was me. It did not compute.
Yeah.
So,
Also,
Phil, you were telling us a story about developing this technique at what age did you develop that technique and started to share it with others? What age did you?
basically, I would say the technique's been evolving over 20. Well, it's not my technique. First of all, I have to make that clear. These are not my technique. These are techniques I have discovered over a good 20-year period. You know, so it's not from all sorts of cultures as well, Chinese, Egyptian, Greek. So it's not my technique. Basically, what I've basically done is I kind of put a little bit of showmanship to it. So
okay, at this time, Phil, I'm sorry to cut you off a bit short, but I'd like to tell everybody at this time, we'd like you all to join us on the podcast. You could go on to the links that has been posted, the Pandemic Diary 2020. Like, share, and do please make a comment. Thank you so much. Back to you, Phil. Can I ask you this question? When you discover these formulas, you started to have a relationship with maths you saw the maths in a different light.
Yes. Yes.
What did you do next?
Well, basically,
from being a person who was struggling, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with this.
No. You see, remember I said it wasn't a very nice feeling being bottom, and I could remember going home crying quite a lot of nights when I came back from school, come back in the evening. Before I went to bed, I literally was crying my eyes out, and I said to myself, I hate this feeling. I don't want anyone to go through the feeling I have. If I can help anyone to get rid of that feeling, I would then, do something about it. So then I started sharing it. Well, eventually, obviously, I became a teacher, and then one of the decisions I made, I become a maths teacher, and I'll say, well, people learn in different ways. Whatever maths techniques I'm going to be teaching, I'm going to find at least 3 or more different ways to teach each topic. And that was my quest, that as a teacher, because one size do not fit all. So as a teacher, I said to myself, I'm going to find at least 3 different methods for every topic I did. And that's what I did. And some actually, the topics I found between 15 to 18 different ways to teach the same subject. So over that time, obviously, because I gained confidence, then I was sharing them then the different ways. I don't have a set lessons because I would say probably over the 40-something years as a teacher, probably about 90% of my lessons are different. Although I end up with the same result, the same topic, my approach about 90% of the time will be different. It's only about 10% of the time when I just basically did the same lesson, almost exactly the same in all these years, because I want to keep it fresh and I want to relate to the pupils I'm teaching.
And actually, Philip, I think that's a really important point, and it's brilliant that you do that, because you're going to see better results with those students, because not everyone learns in the same way. And that's the issue for me. That's why I fell behind in maths. I was moved to a different class when I was actually approaching year 11. So I went a bit of a reverse story. I went from being really good at maths. I used to go through my times tables and test myself every day. My dad would test me, and I was in top set. And I actually slipped back because I just couldn't get on with the method and the way that my new teacher was teaching me. because we all learn in completely different ways. So actually, it's such a pro thing. It's a positive thing that you have so many different methods for teaching the same thing, and you can sort of customize that, you know, live when you're face to face with people. Yeah.
I think my basic philosophy in terms of teaching, and this is a personal philosophy, and as 80, there's one technique 80% of the population will be comfortable with, but there's that 20%, you know, they won't. Let me give you a very simple analogy. It's like if someone's a left-handed person and you gave that person a right-handed tool. Well, you're trying to be kind, but actually it's not very helpful at all. And similarly, if anyone wear glasses, so so I forgot my glasses. Can I borrow yours? Unless that magnification is the same, then it's not been helpful. So I always kept that at the back of my mind. You know, most of the techniques work probably. Most of the people, maybe 70-80% of the time, but there will be about 20-30% of the time when that particular method will not work for the rest of the student. So I will make the adjustment for that. And also, if my pupils don't achieve, it's not their fault, it's my fault. As a professional, it's my job to actually find the solution. You know, so I get very annoyed when I hear people say, I am not good at maths or I can't do maths. When I hear that, normally, most of the time, one or two things has happened. One, they have been taught a very inefficient method, or somewhere along the line, an adult has actually made that person feel very inferior, and that's put them that off for life.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm called a 10-second maths expert is it's not about me, it's about the pupils and my students. Once I've actually shared with them that technique or those techniques, they can do it in under 10 seconds. There are hundreds, thousands of people who can actually calculate much, much quicker than I am. You know,
that's incredible.
But the key thing is about empowering my students. That is why I'm called a 10-second maths expert, because once I share with the person, they will be able to do that in a very short time. And I do about 19 workshops a year over the last 45 years, and I have anything from 50 to about 600 people attending. Typically, the 200 marks will be a fairly average. So using that as a basis of 19 workshops over 45 years. So I know personally I've taught minimum of 200,000 pupils.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Go ahead, Joan.
Sorry, Emily. Sorry to cut across like that, Philip. I just wanted to get something in there. So with regards to the COVID-19 pandemic, how has that affected your life and the teaching life? You say you speak to a lot of people, over 90 seminars in the last 5 years, and several hundreds of people per seminar. How does the COVID-19 affect your life at the moment?
Well, first of all, you have to realize that I'm a retired person. You know, I'm not young like you and Emily. I imagine if I put your two ages together, that equal mine. So I actually, obviously, no longer working at schools, although occasionally I get invited. I'm actually doing a lot of networking as well, business networking, and I meet between 20 to 1,000 people a week, typically over probably about 40 weeks out of 52.
So how has that changed?
So I think this is a shock, you know, meeting people, lots of people every day, and then gone down to zero. In the last 3 weeks, I have been so tired. I have never been so tired in my life, doing so little, relatively so little. You know, and I don't know about anyone else. I find at different times of the day, I'm kind of nodding off a little bit. I thought, you know, and I think the inactivity is making me more tired.
Okay.
I probably actually have watched more television in the last 3 weeks than I have now for the last 20 years. And I find, even if I watch a really nice program like that David Attenborough nature program, I feel so tired after watching 1 hour of television.
I actually think, Philip,
the government has recommended.
It's probably a
Sorry,
shock
go on.
to your system, to your body, because you're so used to being busy. You're so on the go all the time. You're meeting people for the whole week. You know, your sleeping pattern. You're used to things being a certain way. So actually, when we take our foot off the pedal, it's suddenly like, oh my goodness, and that can actually take a toll on your body. So, and I've been feeling it myself, and I think with the emotional side of being in a global pandemic, you know, this is something huge. We need to remember that we're all coping in different ways.
Very new to us.
Yeah, it's new to us. So, you know, I've been sleeping in such strange ways and sleeping a lot more as well. So I can totally relate to that. Is there anything that you're able to do sort of online? Is there any elements of your life you can take on the internet?
Yes, I have a 15-year-old business partner, Trayshawn Ben-Selmi, and we co-written a book 2 years ago, and that took us 5 days to write the book. And very lucky enough, Amazon informed us that we hit the bestseller list in 2 hours 11 minutes.
Wow, very good.
Well, since then,
congratulations, Phil.
Well, thank you. But since then, Trayshawn, who's now just turned 15, he's written 6 more books himself. He's got 3 businesses running. We made a decision about a fortnight ago to do an online course based on this book, which we actually co-written, called 10 Seconds.
Can you pull it away from the camera so that viewers can see it? Pull it away from the camera. Yeah, the 10 Seconds Child Genius. That's brilliant. The 10 Seconds Child Genius. Where can people buy this book? And you said the 10 seconds, your other books. Where can they buy your other books that you published?
You can actually buy these on Amazon, or or you could go to www.jetsetlearning.com.
So thank you so much for that.
So we have co-written.
Viewers will be very interested in that. You know, there's a lot of children at home and parents at home wanting help to manage children, and I know a lot of people have the weakness for maths, and everybody wants to get their children up and about learning instead of being stuck at home and not doing anything. But I am aware that the school system in the UK, we have had a lot of parents putting the children online for their courses. Everything is being done on the courses. I live next door to a neighbor with a few children. She has a few children, and I have not heard a single squeak from them. Normally the regular 9 to 5 everyday working life, and they're coming in and out, I'll hear the banging, the talking, the chirping, the laughing, the mischief they're getting up. It's all silent. And I was telling her, like, how you got them so quiet? She said, Joan, everything is online. They've got more work now online than they've ever. So they're quiet and busy.
Yes. So to answer your question, Emily, we will be doing an online course. In fact, we just finished our workbooklet yesterday, and we'll just do a final check of that in the next day or two. Then I'm sure we're going to roll out. I have to mention about Trayshawn. He's actually incredible. 6 years ago, he was so shy he wouldn't even speak to his family. But to his credit, he actually got out of his comfort zone. And in 2017 on Channel 4 TV program that called it Child Genius, he got himself into the final 20.
That's great.
Hence the title of the book. I'm the 10-second maths expert. He is the Child Genius. And as I said, since then, he's just grown so much confidence. You know, about 2 months ago, a month and a half, 2 months ago, he was before the lockdown. He was invited to do a 2-day workshop at Chelsea Football Club.
All right. And how old is he? 15 years old?
He just turned 15 years old a few months ago. You know,
that's brilliant.
And he's been on television, radio, magazines more than I have. So the confidence has grown. He's just taken over from me. And I think 2 years ago, we went down to, a year and a half ago, we got invited to Kent to do a short workshop. There's one technique. Trey was coaching these kids. We had about 50 kids, aged from about 4 to 15. And after about 5 minutes coaching, there were 2 kids was doing the technique inside 2 seconds.
Wow.
Would you like to see a demonstration of that?
Yes, please, Phil. I was wanting to find out how does someone do something like this in 10 seconds? Come on. The floor is yours, Phil.
Emily and Jen, do you have a phone with a calculator, or on your phone with a calculator?
Hang
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Emily, since I
I'm
can see
nowhere
the phone.
near a calculator.
Okay, great.
And I can't access my calculator. Emily, you go for it. You go for it.
Okay.
I'm just checking out, everybody.
Well,
I'm just checking out.
I'm going to show you a technique which Trey Sean did,
Mhm.
but he actually didn't even teach it. But he actually asked some questions to get the people to actually work it out.
Mhm.
And after this is the coaching didn't take more than about 5-6 minutes at the most, and we practiced that. Two of the 50 kids did that in under 2 seconds. So
Wow.
Emily, can you
I'm
give me
scared.
a
I'm
can you
scared.
give me a can you give me a 4-digit number? Can you give me a 4-digit number? Can you give me a 4-digit number that's over 5,000? But just to make it more interesting, make all 4 numbers different.
Okay. 7, 3, 4, 8.
Right. So can you enter that in your calculator? 7, 3, 4, 8.
Yeah.
Times it by 9999.
4 9s. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And hit the equal sign, but don't say anything.
Mhm.
Okay. So just check that you have typed in it correctly. So the numbers on your calculator should be 73472652.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's it.
So what have I just done?
You just multiply 7,348 by 9,999.
Guys, what's the total again? I'm just writing.
So 7347
3,
2
4, 7, 2,
652.
6, 5, 2. And what does that mean?
Well, that means that Emily gave me the number, yeah,
Mhm.
and I just worked it out. But we had 7 kids as young as a 5-year-old who's doing that in under 15 seconds after 5 minutes coaching.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to try this at home, folks. I don't want to go through the drama.
So let me answer your question in a slightly different way. I gone to 2 schools that were in trouble because they didn't have any maths teachers for over a year, 2 years.
Mhm.
And as you know, in this country, the GCSE exam take place in sort of late May, June. I
Yeah.
joined these 2 schools after Easter, so therefore it's
Wow.
only a very short window of time, to
Mhm.
actually do some, because they didn't have maths teachers or enough maths teachers for one particular school. I was teaching the whole of the year 11 in 2 halves, so I had 5 classes at once, and across the complete range from the very bottom set to the top set.
Mm.
Now remember, also after Easter to May, there's only a few weeks, about 6-7 weeks. So I have managed to talk enough stuff for one school to improve their result by 17%. And the other school that I was had the year 11, I had 2 classes together. Out of the 70 odd pupils, everyone got through from A star to C, except for 5 pupils. Those 5 people missed the grade C by only a few marks. The point is, it's not about me, because if they didn't have the ability inside, it doesn't matter what I do. It would make no difference. Emily,
Yes,
Emily, you're a fantastic singer. I love to sing, but to be honest, no matter how I try, I am not going to get up to your standard or the X Factor standard.
I got you.
Because
Yeah.
so therefore, within everyone, the mathematical ability has always been there. All I have really done is actually unlock the confidence, because how else could I actually, got 2 classes through at the high level with, 70 odd people, only 5 people missing the grade C by a few marks. And also with the other school, how to get the whole of the 240 kids, teaching in 5 classes in the hall, to actually get through enough to actually make that improvement. Because I wasn't sitting the exam, they were.
They
So
were.
all I,
And also,
so it's nothing about me. There's nothing special about me. You know,
and
it's
also one thing,
they're all,
sorry, Phil, can I make a point? What you have shown us actually, you've got to understand, in classrooms, there usually about 20, 30, or 40 children in one classroom. You're talking about talking to a mass range of students in one go. And most people will think the student will need hands-on, like you stand next to them, you show them this and that. But you actually did this in a mass hall. And for you to do that and not personalize and actually stand up next to each student, that is an accomplishment itself. And it proves the point which you were saying. Each individual have that potential, built-in potential within themselves to do great at maths. I wish I had met you before when I was in secondary school. Believe you me, because I was one of those failing students. I missed a C by getting a D, and then later on I got a C, but I took years to get that C. Trust me, but I made sure I got it in maths.
I also have to, Joe, I also have to give credit to one of my teacher, Mr. Roland Duff. If he is still alive today, he would be probably around about 110, 115 years old.
Wow.
So I doubt. I've been trying to trace three of my teachers for a long time. I found one of the three after 50 years, but I couldn't trace the other two. But my third book, this book was dedicated to my teacher, Mr. Roland Duff. He said two things to me that really actually was a game changer. First of all, he said, if you honestly don't understand something, there's no such thing as a stupid question. The second thing that he said to me really actually it's like a eureka moment. And he said, it's better to feel stupid for 5 minutes than stay stupid for the rest of your life.
That's
and
so true.
Something clicked at that point, because I was always scared to ask questions, because I thought if I ask questions, people think I'm dumb. The reality, I was dumb anyway. By not asking questions, I was holding myself in that dumb position. And it actually was a dumb thing to do, not to ask questions.
I am guilty. I am guilty. I am guilty. So I understand. I was guilty of that. I didn't want to look stupid.
Yeah.
And I was sitting right up in front of the class because I had poor eyesight. So in front of the class, I just sit down and stay quiet and pretend to look smart and get what's going on. That's what most of us did. I know I definitely did. Now, we are coming back to the coronavirus. And can I ask you something on your personal everyday life? Are you living on your own, or are you living with a family? How is it affecting you?
I'm living by myself, so I miss the action. I miss not seeing my grandkids. In fact, actually, my 12-year-old granddaughter has written this book called The Friendship.
Oh, what's the name of the book, Phil? I can't see from so far. Can you say it? Friendships. Friendships. What's the book about? And where can the viewers get it?
And again, you can get this from Amazon. And it's interesting. She was lacking confidence. I was trying to encourage her as well. In fact, we just co-written the book together. In fact, the pandemic has actually gave me the opportunity to finish my 10th book, and which I'm co-written with my granddaughter Chloe Whiting. Let me tell you the story. I wasn't going to write this book. I was going to write this book about 3 years ago, but I put it on the shelf. I said, no, I felt I was writing maths book. Then about 6 months ago, my granddaughter came after school, and I thought, I'm going to impress my granddaughter. So I was going to show her this quick technique, expecting she's going to go, wow. So the moment I showed her this technique, and literally straight away, she said, she calls me Grampy. And she said, Grampy, that's rubbish. I said, what?
Out of the mouth of babes, Phil. Out of the mouth of babes. Now, why did you say it was rubbish?
I was not expecting that. I thought she was going, wow, that was so brilliant. So my ego went, And then I said,
She
okay, shut up.
humbled you. She humbled her granddad. Okay.
Yeah. And I said, just shut up. Listen. And I said, tell me. And she did, and she was right. And just
Mhm.
as a joke, I said, can I put this in my next book? And she said, Grampy, of course you can, but I get 90% of the money.
Clever girl.
So because, as I said, before the shutdown, I was busy running around left, right, and center. So I actually didn't have time to finish. So the nice thing is because of the having sit still, we are actually finished it now. It's gone to the publisher. So we're just waiting for the book cover to be complete. I have a fantastic book cover designer. She's in Sri Lanka and she's amazing. Unfortunately, they got a curfew, so she can't get to the office. So, and it's not her fault. So once that is lifted, then hopefully that will then get done. And she's amazing. In fact, she's the person who designed all my book covers. And she's just amazing, just so amazing. So that's the plus side. Also, as I said, I'm doing an online course the first time with my 15-year business partner Trey Sean, and wow, he's just amazing because actually we're also being invited by Brunel University on the 20th of June. That's assuming this thing will lift by then, for a one-day course at the Brunel University. Now, who would imagine a young shy kid, 15-year-old, and a person like me who fell out of school to actually be giving a course at actually Brunel University of all places. That's unheard of.
Yeah. So you've mentioned confidence a few times, and I think my motto in life is confidence is key. I really agree that it unlocks, you finally realize your potential.
Yes.
However, if someone is really lacking that, like for me, when I'm faced with, in particular, maths issues, everyday things, like even just from checking my change, there is a mental block in my mind due to my experience in year 11 at school.
Yes.
Can I really get to your level? Is that actually possible? Can I break through that confidence barrier? How would you approach that with someone like me?
Well, basically, it's about finding the right coach and a mentor to guide you thing. Very lucky enough, I have a number of very successful business mentors who are basically multimillionaires and so on, and they taught me to change my mindset. It's all about the mindset because everyone has got a fantastic ability. I have to mention at this point there's a young lady called Katie Blackwell. I met her and her mum just about a year and a bit ago. The first time we met, she was so shy. She was then 14. Yeah, she wouldn't even look at her. The first time we met, she just had her head down. And to her credit and to her mum's credit, Carol, who's actually been so encouraging to her, she now had her first release of her record about a month ago by a company in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And also when it went to Japan, it hit over 100,000. So over the last year, with the encouragement of her mum, and also she's getting around different mentors, her confidence has grown. She's now performing publicly, like yourself, who's very good at performing, at singing. She's now performing regularly, and even now with the shutdown, he's actually doing like open mic each day, taking requests and singing. So it's about confidence.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because that's really my message that I try and put out there all the time. Anything is possible. It's just the mindset. It's how you approach these things, and confidence really is the key to everything in my books. So I would like to know a little bit more about your background. Where are you from? Were you born in England? And do you still have family that are living elsewhere than the UK?
I was born in Hong Kong. I came when I was very young. I've only got a few relatives left in Hong Kong. In fact, my aunt today is in Hong Kong. Will be buried tomorrow. However, and most of my relatives that's left in Hong Kong, they are all over about 97 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I came to this country when I was very young, and when I first came, there were very few Chinese people about. It's not like nowadays; you can see Chinese people everywhere. I'd be lucky for the first 10 years when I was here. I'd be lucky to see more than about 3 or 4 Chinese people in the whole year. So when I went to school, my teachers didn't speak Chinese. My first 6 months was really hell because I couldn't understand a word anyone was saying. So I actually had to find a way to teach myself English. And I always share this. I'll always share this story with my pupils because if you ever listen to someone speaking a foreign language to you, it's just noise. And that's what's exactly how it was. So eventually, I came with the conclusion, trying to pick out one word. If that word, sorry, when people use that word, if they smile, my baby's conclusion, my child logic said it must be a good word. And then I was trying to impress the people, and for some reason, sometimes when I thought it's a nice word, I said that word to people. People want to hit me. I thought, it must be the wrong conclusion. I could get killed going this way. Then I hit across the comics, Batman. So if you ever seen some Batman comics, you open it, it's got these words go pow, poof, bow, yeah, bam. I thought it meant something. So I'm sure when I decided using these, people must say, "Who is this lunatic?" However, somehow, after 6 months, I started picking out a few words, and from then on, it just snowballed. My goal then was to learn 3 new words a day, and I say within a year, I wasn't learning 3 new words a day. I was learning far more. So how I managed to get through that period, I still a mystery to, but somehow I got through that. So I have struggled all my life with learning. I'm in lots of things. I'm self-taught. And that is why I keep saying, I don't want ever people to share this horrible feeling that I'm not worthy, I can't, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, because I've been through so much of that. And, that feeling, even as I'm talking now, I feel a little bit of emotion because this is taking me back to that time, all those many, many years ago. Also, physically, I was scared. I was a beanpole. In fact, if you sneeze too hard, I could fall down. At the same time, I was wanting to improve my academic skills. I started to actually develop a program for myself, and I started training every night. And within a short time, I obviously got physically stronger. And then actually, to my surprise, I got actually good at sports.
Okay. So many different journeys that you've been on, Philip. So you improved your confidence, everything was blossoming. And I completely understand why you must feel emotional looking back, because that is such a huge transformation. And, coming from that struggle, not understanding a word of English. And I can't imagine, being in school in that situation and actually not having any of that information go in. You must feel really helpless. So, totally understand why you'd feel emotional. Now, I'd like to tell you, and hopefully take it in, you are an amazing person. You are special, because you've said it's not about you. We're talking to you today because you are absolutely inspirational and an amazing person. You have brought out the confidence in other people. And you've mentioned the young people that you've been working with. So by unlocking the confidence within other people, you're making such an impact. It's more than just teaching maths. You are actually impacting so many other people in different ways. And you mentioned Katie who sings. It's amazing what we can do once we unlock that confidence within ourselves. What would be your one tip to someone who is struggling with their confidence? And it doesn't have to be maths related, because we've all got these little challenges where we're just a bit stuck in our minds. What would you say to bring them out of that?
It's going back to my 15-year-old business partner. He's got 4 other siblings, and his mum Sabrina is an amazing woman. The mistake a lot of parents make is because they feel that they're not good at something, their kids, may not be good at that. That's wrong thinking. That's a misconception. The key thing is when someone says, "I'm not good at singing," or I'm talking as a parent now, yeah, "I'm not good at singing," and so on. That does not mean your kids are not good at singing. If you're not good at maths, it does not mean your kids. Now, Sabrina's done a fantastic job. She was there for the kids. She gave the confidence. Now, and I would say to any parents, just be there for your kids. Be their encourager, and you never know by giving them the encouragement, to let them shine. All I've done as the so-called 10-second maths expert is I simply unlock the confidence because the ability has always been there. As I said, how else could I actually, teach the whole of the year 11 in 240 kids in two halves, and the other two had two classes of 70 odd pupils in one in less than 7 weeks to retaught enough stuff. But they are the people who sit in the exam. I wasn't sitting the exam, so they have always have the ability deep inside. So how else can a 2-year course be done in 7 weeks? Well, the answer is actually work smart, not hard.
Work smart and not hard.
And also, so to the parents, please don't make the mistake because you didn't do well at school. Maybe it's not your fault. It may be somehow a teacher has put you off, but that was the past. Don't pass that on to that attitude to your kids. Just be there for them. Just be encouraging, and by encouraging, you help to unlock that ability that they never thought they have. And so, my friend Sabrina, she has done an amazing job with the 5 kids, and in fact, all 5 kids are published authors. 2 years ago, the youngest of that family, Amir, he was age 4. He was the youngest male author in the world.
Oh yes, I heard about that. A little gentleman by the age of 4, and I was like, how did he do that?
Yeah, but
how
you
did
see,
he do that? I'd love to know that.
Again, and also I work also together with my 2 friends, Myron and Laboshi. They have the publishing company called DVG Star, and together we as a team has now helped over 15 youngsters aged 3 to 17 to publish the books. Yeah, so 2 years ago, the 2 youngest authors was a 3.5-year-old girl and Amir, who's the 4-year-old. But since then, in the last 6 months, we got 2 young kids at age 3 who have published a book. These are from ordinary families. These are not super genius. People say you have to be genius. That's a misconception.
I find this very interesting because a lot of parents like to take away that empowering nature out of a child, because you're saying 3.5-year-old, 4-year-old, most 3.5-year-old, 4-year-olds, they're running around, the parents babying them, quote unquote, treating them like little babies as if they're still baby in arms, and they disempower them. You're telling us now, really and truly, you need to empower the young people so they adapt at an early age and they start doing things at an early age and make them a lot more productive and confident and go through the life in a better way. Because most people don't do that. I see 7, 8-year-olds being pushed in proms. People are babying them, and you tell me a 3-year-old, 4-year-old is doing such wonderful things. Okay, so
I could remember as I was a short time a gymnast that didn't do too badly, and then
I was a gymnast as well. Strange enough, I was a gymnast.
Fantastic!
In primary school. They used to call me the snake. I could still wrap my leg around my neck and all kinds of stuff. I could still do crazy stuff. I'm bigger now, but I wouldn't do certain things. I'm afraid to hurt myself, but
as I said, when I was competing, if someone could do a double back somersault, you'd be in the top 10 in the world. Now we've got young kids as young as 8 and 9 who can do that. I could remember as a coach at one time. This is at a regional level. The compulsory set that we did for the 10-year-old was the same Olympic compulsory set back in the 60s. Yeah, and these are young kids. So the rise in standard. Because at that time we thought that certain kids can never be physically strong enough to do certain things, and that's a misconception. So back in the 80s, there were young kids as young as 10 to 12 who were doing the Olympic set back in the 1960s.
Mhm.
So we are putting limits sometimes on children. Don't do that. Just
Mhm.
encourage. If you do the encouragement, just let the talent flow.
Philip,
Thank you so much, Phil. Mhm.
am I
Thank you.
correct in saying that you used to be a sports coach as well?
Yes, yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, I got
Emily,
to.
I don't think we have enough time for that, Emily. We're almost running out of time. So I'm sorry to cut that short, but Emily, Philip, can you tell us how much different careers you have had during your lifespan? Just give us a brief noting of the things you have accomplished. Yeah, instead of telling us one specific, just tell us all your accomplishments and
I'm not sure about
encourage the other
accomplishment.
people who haven't had all of those accomplishments to aspire.
I'm a teacher. I started life actually doing some commercials at Pinewood Studio. So I was a former commercial artist.
Mm-hmm. Teacher,
I
commercial artist. What more?
so now actually
Don't forget your publishing.
one of my friend Adam Richard, who actually is the original Red Power Ranger, he's actually encouraged me to actually join his professional stunt team. So maybe at some point I may get involved in some simple stunt work. So I'm also have been a financial advisor.
Five. Counting.
Qualified.
I'm counting. Continue. I'm counting.
Also being a sports coach. I'm also an NLP coach and a life coach.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a will writer. So at one time I was an IHT, that's Inheritance Tax expert, and I work with a multi-billion corporation as one of the top 5% planners for there, and I do the whole range of financial planning. I actually did some busking actually, but I think I was so bad people repaid me to try to check me out.
They just threw change and you said get rid of you. Is that what you're saying?
So as someone who's actually quite bad, yeah, actually academic, you know, I've now written 9 books, and actually my 10th book. This was my 9th book.
And that's this.
The
Tell
10
us what's
seconds.
the name, Phil.
Yeah, so it's 10 seconds speed maths for parents. This one's a limited. This one you can't buy. There's only 30 copies in the world. So there's only about 4 copies left. So I'm not going to write any. I'm not publishing more. Yeah. So this is a limited edition. This book actually took me 5 hours to write.
Wow. Phil, I think you can't make that book a limited edition. You need to put that out to press, because I think a lot of parents would be impressed and they learn a thing or two.
Well, my message was that actually my protege, Trey Sean, he's taken over from me. You know. Oh.
And we got to wrap up. Emily, you got to wrap it up today. Huh? You got to wrap it up. Close it up.
Was that someone's doorbell?
Yeah, that was my doorbell. So
a delivery on Monday. Okay, you know what? We like everybody. Thank you, Phil. Thank you so much for being with us, for being our guest on the Pandemic Diary 2020. Emily, I think, is gonna answer the doorbell.
So my apologies for that. I didn't expect that.
You want to wrap up quickly, Emily, and say the goodbyes and where you could like and tick and follow us online?
Yeah, guys, please share this interview. It will be available on our YouTube page. So please like and share so people can catch up and learn from the amazing Philip Chan, who we've loved talking today. Thank you so much, Philip. I'm giving you a round of applause.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And me and Joan will see you again tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock on the Pandemic Diary 2020.
Bye, everybody. Okay.